Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In the last video we book an appointment and we added the make call functionality in our application, right? If you see, this is the make call functionality and this is the book appointment functionality we added in our application, and we successfully book an appointment. If you see in the request, this is an appointment. We successfully create one appointment in our application, right? Now in this video we are going to create our chat functionality. If you see our UI, if you go in this button click, we need to open one chat page where user can able to write messages to the doctor, or in simple form user and doctor can chat using that form or using that page. Okay, for that, first of all, we need to redirect the user. When user click on that button, we need to redirect the user to the chat application. Now go to our code in the doctor details page. Go to and in our code, okay, this is our code. On chat button, we need to add the chat functionality, so we need to redirect user to the chat application. First of all, we need current user ID. We need to pass the current user ID also, and also we need doctor name, because if you see our model, our doctor name has two parts, first name and last name. We need to merge this first name and last name. Okay, this is the doctor name, this is the current user ID, and we need to pass these two things in our chat screen. So navigator.push context, and root will be material root, material push root, material page root, context, and there will be chat screen, where we need to pass few things. We need to pass doctor ID. Doctor ID will be visit.doctor.uid. okay, sorry. And we need doctor name will be, let's do one thing, doctor name, and we need patient ID, and which will be current user ID. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now let's get the chat screen here in our lib screen. Okay, now here we need to pass these things, right? Final string, one is doctor ID, one is doctor name, also I need patient ID, also I need patient name. Here remove const, and yeah, that's it. let's do one thing. In the app bar, simply just click the okay. Here will be one condition. Here will be one condition in the chat screen. Suppose this chat screen will be same for doctor and patient also, right? So suppose you are a patient. Suppose you are a patient and you want to chat with the doctor. So whenever you click on the chat icon, it will bring you to this screen. But in the app bar, for doctor, there will be patient name in the header or in the app bar, and for doctor wants to chat with the patient, if doctor opened the chat screen, then patient name will be in the header. So it will be vice versa. So we can directly put the doctor name or the patient name here. So for that we do one thing, we create one string that will be chat partner name, okay, and suppose let's say current user ID, okay, and there will be a boolean variable to get is doctor. If it is a doctor, then current current user ID equals to visit dot doctor ID. See, here I did here I paste the doctor. You can choose for patient also, but I did for the doctor because I first of all I need to set one variable as a default. For here I choose the doctor as a default. Suppose doctor is the current user ID, then we get the doctor ID. If it is not doctor, then we switch to the patient. So you can check here for patient also, but for now I check for the doctor. If it is a doctor, then we get the doctor ID. If it is not, then we get the patient ID, right? So let's do one thing here. In the init section, current user ID equal to auth. Okay, for auth we need Firebase auth, right? Firebase auth are equal to Firebase auth dot extends. Okay, so auth dot current user ID UID. Okay, here I initialize the current auth whoever the logged in user, we set the current user ID for that login user. Okay, now just do one thing. Here in the build section, we created one string variable which is the chat partner name, and that will be we check is doctor. If it is doctor, then visit dot patient name, otherwise visit dot doctor name. Now here we simply chat with, suppose chat doctor name. Okay, now let's run it and check, run the application once, then we will check whether it is working or not. Now I am logged in as a patient. Whenever I click on the chat icon, it will in the app bar it will show the doctor name, okay, because I am a patient. If I am a doctor, it will display the patient name in the app bar. So let's check whether it is working or not. Also we need two database reference. I will explain you why. Let's do one thing. Let's open the our Figma. Here I will explain you why we need two database reference for chat. Okay, now if you see here, for the patient or doctor, there will be a chat section, right? There will be a chat section. Whenever you click on the chat bottom navigation item, if you see there are some chat list. This is the chat list. Okay, for this we need one database reference. For the chat list we need to store the chat list, for patient how many doctor he chat with, for that there is a list, and for doctor how many patient the doctor chat with, for that there is a list. Okay, first let me check whether it is working or not. So I click on doctor profile. Now go to the chat. If you see, yeah, chat with Dr. Golab Burma. Okay, the text font size is too big. We can reduce it later on. But if you see, for doctor it is showing the doctor. For patient it is showing the doctor name. If you click here and go to this chat, if you see, doctor name is here. Okay, it is working fine, right? It is working fine. Okay, now coming back to the why we need two database. For this chat list we need one database, and for this chat we need to store the chat also. This is one chat, this is two chat. Okay, for that also we need one database to store the chat content and for the chat list. Okay, let's create those chat database here. Final database reference, one will be chat list database, Firebase database dot instance dot ref. Okay, and child would be one is chat list. Okay, another one is chat database, and this will be chat. Okay, so this is two database we need. Also we need one text field also na. Let's check it. If you see, this is one text field also we need to write the message. Okay, so find a text editor controller, message controller, text editing controller. Okay, yeah, now we are going to create the functionality to send message. Okay, now here we are going to create the functionality for the chat message. Let's create the method first, then I will explain what I did in the method. Okay, okay, if you see here, this is our chat message method. So first of all, I check whether there is a message input or not. In the message field there is a input or not. If there is not empty, then we take the we in the message string we take the message controller text, whatever the text user input, we set it in here. Now in the chat ID, if you see the chat ID, because if you to store the chat in our chat database, we need one ID, right? Based on that ID, we can recognize that there is a one chat, there is multiple chats. Okay, so there is a chat ID and there is one timestamp to store the time at what time your user send the chat. Okay, now determine sender or receiver ID based on the user role. So how we can recognize that there is a sender ID or there is a receiver ID based on that. You like if you are a doctor, you send one chat to patient. How you can recognize that you are a doctor and you send a chat to a patient or a doctor. So for that, if you are a doctor, then sender ID will be the current user ID, whoever the logged in user, that user current user ID will be the sender ID, and receiver ID will be the patient ID, because you are a doctor and you send the chat to patient. So for that, the receiver end will be the patient. So this is the patient ID, and this is the vice versa of the doctor. If you are a patient, then a receiver end ID will be the doctor ID. That's it. This is the simple thing. Okay, now save the chat in chat database. To store the chat in the chat database, we need message, we need receiver, we need sender, and we store the timestamp. We simply store these four things in our database. Okay, now whenever the user input one chat through the application, that chat will be stored in the chat list also, because we need to show the chat list here also, right? We need the list also. So for that, suppose you are a sender, you have one ID and doctor have one ID, right? Whenever you send one text to that doctor, that will create one list in the list database. So based on that receiver ID. If you are because your sender ID will be same, but receiver ID will be multiple, right? Because you are sending multiple doctor, you are sending message to the multiple doctor. So for that, we store the receiver ID in the based on the receiver ID we created the list. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. And last, we clear the input from the message controller or the text field. So that's it. This is the simple method to send a message. Okay, now we need to create the UI, and we need to implement the message part also. We need to send the message part also, right? Let's first of all just do one thing, just run the application, because my USB port is loose, so that's why it is disconnected. Okay, in the meanwhile, just create the UI first. Okay, then I will explain what I did in the UI. Okay, our chat functionality is working fine. If you see here, I already sent one message hello, and if you go to the database, if you see there is one chat section, there is one chat ID. This is the receiver ID, this is the sender ID, this is the timestamp, and this is the message hello. And also in the chat list, if you see, this is, I think this is the receiver ID and this is the sender ID, because for both and we need to create the chat list. For that, this is the receiver ID, we created in the receiver ID, we add the sender ID as the ID, and in the sender ID we add the receiver ID as the ID. So I think our functionality is working fine. And here if you see the code, if there is no data in the database, then it will simply say no message yet. You already saw that. If there isn't data, suppose sender is the current user ID, because current user ID means whoever the logged in, and receiver will be the doctor ID or maybe the patient ID, right? Here I just do one thing, it will give you a clear view. Just do one thing. Yeah, now if you see, if suppose there are some condition, there are 4 conditions. If sender is the current user ID, then in the receiver end there might be doctor ID or might be patient ID, if sender is the current ID. Now suppose sender is the doctor ID. For doctor ID, the receiver end will be the current user ID. Current user ID means the patient ID. Okay, and for the patient, current user ID means if sender is the patient ID, receiver end will be the current user ID, means the doctor user ID or the current user ID. So these are some conditions that we need to map in our chat list. So, and this is the UI part. For sender, if you see the UI, this is the blue in blue color. Whoever the send the message will be sent in the center right, and whoever receiver in the receiver end, you will see the hello message in the center left. This is the functionality we add in here. If you create the UI for a doctor, in the later part we will create the chat screen for a doctor also. In that screen you will see that if you logged in as a doctor, but in the doctor page I don't think I add this functionality, but if you see that, you will see hello part in the left side whenever you go to the chat list. Now as you see here, there is one chat section, right? Whenever user click on the chat section, there is nothing in the chat list. Now in the chat list we need to add that how many patient had contacted that user or that doctor. We need to paste in here from the chat list. Let's do it in the chat list section. If you go to the patient home page, and this is the chat list page, right? Here we need to add the chat list also. For that, let's do the code here. Okay, okay, now we need to fetch the chat list in the chat list in the patient chat section. You means in this here. Okay, now how you can get the chat list? We need to identify the ID, right? So how you can identify the ID? From the doctor database. That's why we created one instance for a doctor database also, because we are going to check the doctor UID. If from the doctor database we will take the doctor UID, and from the chat list we will get the receiver or sender UID, right? So we are going to match that ID. If there is any kind of ID that is matched from the doctor reference, that will be we put in our chat list. Okay, so this is a simple, we are just matching our IDs. Okay, we simply fetch the chat list based on the doctor UID, and we check the chat list UID. Right now, here in the in the UI part, we are going to fetch it. Okay, and the body section is loading. It is loading nice and that. Okay, if you see here, we have one chat with Golab Burman, Dr. Golab Burman, right? In the chat list, it is showing here perfectly. Now, if user wants to click on that chat, we need to redirect user to the again chat list, so that doctor can chat with the patient also, right? Sorry, patient can chat with the doctor also, because this is the patient page, right? Chat with Dr. Burman, that means patient chat with one doctor. Okay, now it's on tab. On tab, we need to navigate. Okay, if you see here in the on tab, we simply navigate user to the chat screen, and in chat screen we need to pass this variable, right? Because in the chat screen this is the requirement for the chat screen. Okay, now my app is building. Then we are going to check whether it is working or not. On tab, user need to navigate the chat screen also from the chat list page. Okay, let me check it. Okay, sorry. Okay, now on tab. Okay, let's rerun the application, because I run the application when I didn't do the code for this. Okay, let's go for this, and or you can simply hot reload the application also, but anyway. Okay, as you see, we redirect user to the chat screen successfully from chat list page. Okay, I think it is working fine. If you have any query, you can ask me on the comment section, but I will provide you the code in the next part of the video with the UI design. Okay, I hope now you can get it, how you can chat with the user. Okay, yeah, it is working fine. Let's post one message also. Okay, it is showing an error here. Why it is showing the error? Okay, let me check the error. Okay, it is showing error in the compare to section. Why it is showing the error? It is called that the method compare to was called on null receiver. Timestamp, let's check. Yeah, it is timestamp. It is okay. Here in database it is showing how are you doc. Database it is. I think there is a mistake in here. Let me check. Access list dot sort ABA timestamp to compare to B timestamp. Okay, I got it. In the map list, we didn't add the timestamp. Here we don't need the receiver, we need timestamp. Sorry for that. That's why it is showing the error. We need the timestamp. We need to show the timestamp, right? Let's hot reload it. Okay, now it is the chat section. Now if we click it, okay, it is showing here. Now just how are you? I hope this time it is not showing the error. Okay, it is going perfectly. Okay, now there is no error. Okay, sorry for that. I here added the receiver, but I need the timestamp too. In the map list, we need to add the timestamp also, right? Okay, this is working fine. I hope you understand the code. If I hope I understand this what am I trying to explain here? How you can create the chat using Firebase in the Flutter. Okay, in the next section, in the next part, we are going to see the profile section also we are going to see the doctor homepage also. We are trying to complete the profile section for the patient, and we are going to create the homepage, doctor homepage also. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you.